Okay, so I have here two sides and an included angle that is given, and we are trying to solve the triangle. If we are solving the triangle, we got to solve all of its sides and all of its missing angles. So let's solve this particular side. You can do even law of sides, okay, but we will do this problem based on law of cosines. It doesn't matter how you label, you can label whichever way it is comfortable, but maintain consistency with the label and the way you solve the problem. So let me call this as side A, B and C. So opposite to A is the small a, and capital B this is small b, and capital C is the small c. Okay, so you have law of cosines. You can apply based on what is given. A and C is given. So A and C is given. You can use the formula, which is b square equals a square plus c square minus 2ac times cos b. So b square equals a square plus c square minus 2ac times cos b. So we will just substitute whatever we have and try to simplify further b. So b square is going to be equal to small a is 22 square plus small c is 12 square minus 2 times a is 22 and c is 12 times cos of 98. Okay, you can use further this in, substitute everything this in calculator and get the value of b square. Do not round your answers yet, only towards the last step. That's where you have to round your answers. So 22 square plus 12 square plus, sorry, minus 2 times of 22 times 12 times cos 98, right? Let me use parenthesis little more better. 2 times 22 times cos 98. So I'll have here 634.1236164. Okay, you don't have to write this step. You can directly in your calculator do the root and then write the final answer. But in case you wish to write, you have to write all the decimals. Okay, 634.1236164. That's what I have. Then you take root of this particular answer to get the value of b, which is 25.1818. 25.182. This will be if I round to the third decimal. Now I want to find the value of either angle A, or I can find the value of either angle A or angle C. Okay, now I have both B and A, or I have both B and C. I can find one of them. Let me find angle A. To find angle A, the cos A, the first formula itself, this one I can use. Okay, I can use A square equals B square plus C square minus 2BC times cos A. Okay, substitute what all we have and just leave this capital A without filling anything. So I have the small a as 22. So 22 square equals b square, which is we found 25.182, and c square, which is going to be 12 square. minus 2 types of BC times cos A. So that is minus 2 types of, in calculator when you put, you can just put a parenthesis here, that is better, otherwise there is a chance of going wrong. I will just put 2 BC cos A. BC is 25.18, 2 C was 12 times cos A. Okay, so further uh, simplify this. So you will have 22 square e equals 484. So just substitute that. At 25.18 square, 25.182 square, which is 634.133124. Actually, I'm not supposed to simplify, so what I'll do is I'll just get everything to the right side. Okay, I will get everything, instead of writing a lot of decimal points here, as I'm not rounding, I'll get everything to the left side, and then I'll try to round and simplify. So let's get everything to the left side by subtracting 25.182 square. I'll have minus 25.182 square onto the left. To get rid of 12 square, positive 12 square, I'll have to subtract 12 square from both sides. So on the left side I'll have 12, negative 12 square. And to get rid of this one, I'll have to add 2 times of 25.182 times 12 on both sides. And that is, oh, not just add, I can't add this step as it was a product, so I'll have to just leave this one as it is to the right side. So just leave this to the right side, negative 2 times of 25.182 times 12 times cos A. Just leave this here. Now you can simplify this portion in calculator and also this portion in calculator and just write it there. So 22 square minus 25.182 square minus 12 square is going to be minus 294.133124. Equals, you have here negative 2 times, this also I'll just simplify it right here completely. So let me put that in calculator once again. So negative 2 times 25.182 times 12, that gives me negative 6.4.36, negative 6.4.368 times cos A. Then divide by negative 6.4.368 on both sides. So if I were to divide negative 6.4.368 on both sides, I'll have these two get crossed out and I'll have cos A as, just let me put this in calculator and get the answer. you go you have to once again keep all the decimals, or you can directly do the cos inverse. I'm keeping all the decimals as it is. In your calculator you don't have to write these many steps. You can just get the cos inverse formula itself in the first place. You get everything on get the equation itself in terms of cos inverse. I'll tell you that later in a while. So if I do second cos inverse of this particular number, I'll have the required angle. So cos inverse of this, if I do, I'll have the required answer, and if cos inverse of cos will get crossed out, so I'll just have A. Okay, if I do cos inverse here, these two will get crossed out, cos inverse and cos, so I'll just have cos inverse of this particular value, which is going to be 60.878. And make sure the mode is in degrees, otherwise we may get a wrong answer. Once we have angle A, we need to find angle C. Angle C is 180 minus 98 minus 60.878. So let's simplify that in calculator. 180 minus 98 minus 68.878 gives us 13.122. All these are in degrees and not radians. Okay, let's see the next slide. I think we had seen these problems. Let's see further couple of more problems which we had already worked. Here in this case we had just found only A. Let's find all the missing things in this particular triangle using law of cosines. I'm not going to do this because we have already done this. That we will see the formulas once again just to find angles when all the three sides are given in the next slide, and based on that we can further work. But let's do all the missing angles and missing sides in this particular triangle. So we have, if we have to find A, and this is your, let me call this as A, let me call this as B. Doesn't matter how you label, just maintain consistency when you solve the problem. Until if they've given you labels, then follow those labels. If they are not given, it doesn't matter. You can label however you want, but consistency has to be maintained when you solve the problem. We need A and CB is given, and just see here, if CB is given, which one should we use? CB is given, so this one, the first one, A square equals B square plus C square minus 2BC times cos A. So use that. A square equals B square plus C square minus 2BC times cos A. Okay, let's substitute everything. A square equals B square was 16, C square is 52 square minus 2 times of B was 16, C was 52 times cos A. So once again put that also, you have cos of angle 150 degrees. Okay, so now we can simplify this with calculator. 16 square plus 52 square minus 2 times of 60 times 52 times cos of 150 degrees. Okay, complete everything in calculator to get A square as, to not round in this step, you'll get 3663.236788. 236788. Once you take square root on both sides, you'll get the value of A as 60.525. 60.525. So now I have A, I have C. I just need to find one of these angles. The third angle can be found. Let's use once again the one more formula. I'll use this time B square equals A square plus C square minus 2AC times cos B. I need to find angle B. So just substitute everything. B square is 16. So just put 16 square. A square is 60.525. And C square is nothing but 52 square minus 2 times of 60.525 times 52 times cos B. We will simplify this, getting everything to the left side, and we will simplify this and keep on the right side. So we will have here, next step is 16 square minus 60.525 square. Okay, subtracting 60.525 square on both sides and subtracting 52 square on both sides. I will have this 16 square minus 60.525 square minus 52 square equals negative 2 or minus of 2 times of 60.525 times 52. And I can keep cos B separately out, it doesn't matter. Okay, and further, if you want to just directly, instead of calculating all this and keeping all the decimals, you want only the answer in terms of final answer you want to substitute in calculator. At that time, you can do it in this pattern. You can just keep this as it is and then divide by this particular number. Negative 2 times of 60.525 times 52 on both the sides. You just divide by this number. So you'll have 16 square minus 60.525 square minus 52 square divided by negative 2 times 60.525 times 52. So these two will get crossed out. And the final step, B is going to be multiplied by cos inverse on both the sides to get your final answer. So you'll have B is going to be cos inverse of this whole thing. So you can put this itself in calculator, but make sure you put proper parentheses, brackets, otherwise there is a chance of going wrong. 16 square minus 60.525 square minus 52 square over negative 2 times 60.525 times 52. Okay, this is what we need to put in calculator directly to avoid all the decimals. That instead of writing all the decimals, you can just put directly this in calculator. Let's do that. So we will have, okay, substituting in calculator. Simplifying this is calculator, I get B equals 13.862 degrees and based on that I can find the other missing angle as well. we had the other missing angle, which was angle C. So C can be found as 180 minus 13.862 minus the angle which was given, which is 150. So you will have 180 minus 13.862 minus 115 calculator will give us 51.138. Okay. We had already done the problem which was there here in the previous one, but in this one we just try to solve all the missing side and missing angles. Okay. Let's move to the next slide. Okay. Law of cosines can be used to find the angles, right? That's what we saw in this one. We have all the three sides. We can find cos A, cos B. Using cos A, cos B, I can find directly the angle. Instead of writing like this, you can just even write angle A equals cos inverse of this whole thing. A square plus A square minus B square minus C square minus 2BC. We can use this directly. Okay, you don't even, but remembering wise, you can remember in this manner. Let's say I can write B as cos inverse of B square minus A square minus C square over negative 2AC. Okay, same way I can write even cos C. But let's do only these two. Third one can be found based on the triangle sum theorem. So let me label this particular triangle. So if I call this as capital A, capital B and capital C. So this will be our small a, small b and this is small c. Okay, so first let's find this one. A, angle A is equals to cos inverse of, substitute in the formula, A square minus B square minus C square. So A is 16 square minus B square is 11 square and C square is 7 square over negative 2 times BC. B is 11 and C is 7. Okay, so let's substitute this in calculator to get the angle A. So cos inverse of 16 square minus 11 square minus 7 square. Close it and then we have negative 2 times 11 times 7. So that gives us, if I do this particular, I get the cos inverse of angle A as 123.948. 123.948 degrees. Let's try B. I'm just checking if I've substituted everything correct. A was 16, B was 11 and C was 7. Okay, so for getting B, once again let's use cos inverse of this particular. B square here was 11 minus A was 16 and C was 7 minus A was once again 16 and 7 here. So let's substitute this in calculator. So we have cos inverse of 11 square minus 16 square minus 7 square divided by negative 2 times 16 times 7. So that gives us 34.772. 34.772. This was A, and this is B, and finally I can find C, which is going to be 180 minus 123.948 minus 34.772. 123.948 minus 34.772. That gives us 21.28. 21.28. So that will be the value of C. Okay, let's move to the next slide. A triangular bench has two sides, each 15 centimeter long and one side 6 centimeter long. Find all the angles of the bench. Okay, so they have given us triangle which is 15, 15, and I just going to label this as 15, 15 and 6. Okay, let me call this as A, B, C. I need to find these angles. So first I need to find A and B. You have the formula which is nothing but CF for the A is nothing but cos inverse of A square minus B square minus C square. A square minus B square minus C square over, and you can see here, negative 2BC. And this whole thing you are applying cos inverse to get A. Same way to get B, you are applying cos inverse of, instead of A you just replace by B, and you'll have B square minus A square minus C square over minus 2AC. Okay, substitute in these two formulas to get the answer, that is cos inverse of, you had, this is your A, this is your B, and this is your C. So A square is 6 square minus 15 square and 15 square divided by negative 2 times of 15 times 15. Okay, substitute this in calculator and get the answer for A. Okay, same way to get the answer for B, you are just going to substitute cos inverse of, here you have B as 15 square and A as 6 square and C as 15 square minus 2 times of 6 times of 15. Okay, just substitute this in calculator and find the answer. You'll get the value of B. Okay, let's substitute this in calculator once again. So we have cos inverse of 6 square minus 15 square, and this is once again 15 square. Okay, then we do divided by negative 2 times 15 times 15. I think I may have got. Now just let me simplify this once. Okay. Once you simplify it calculator, you'll have value of A as 23.074, B as 78.463, and you can find C, which is 180 minus angle B minus angle A. Let's substitute that in calculator to get 180 minus 23.074 minus 78.463, which gives us 78.463, because the base angles have to be same, right? We studied that in case of isosceles triangle, if the two sides are equal, then the base angles, angle B and angle C, will be same. That's what we have, 78.463 and 78. Okay, let's see the last slide, then I'll give you time to work on okay. Be careful solving the second angle in law of cosines. Always it's better to use law of cosine to solve the largest angle. Okay, whenever they ask you to do law of sines, law of cosines, but they don't tell you which method, follow these techniques so that you don't go wrong at all in once you solve. Use the law of cosines to solve the largest angle and use law of sines to solve the smallest angle. Okay, keep this note. There is no other problem, so just keep this in mind. This will help us to uh, get little more answers easily and more accurately. So always use law of cosines to find the largest angle and law of sines to find the smallest angle. Okay, you all have rest of the class time from now to work on law of cosines worksheet, which is there on the hub. But in case you need any extra help, support, uh, I'll be available. So please ask by unmuting yourself. That will be better than chatting. Okay, just unmute yourself and ask if you need any help.